Hello everyone and welcome to English with Yosri. It often happens that we want to give a good piece of advice to someone, maybe a friend, a neighbor, a colleague. So in this video, we'll learn some ways in which we can give a good piece of advice in different situations. So let us start. The first one is, it's worth a try. If something is worth a try, it's valuable and you believe that it is valuable or that it will be helpful to someone. يعني من الآخر بترشح بيها حاجة أنت شايف إنها تكون مفيدة للشخص ده. Because you've tried it yourself or because you know what it leads to. يا إما عشان أنت جربتها بنفسك يا إما عشان أنت عارف إن هي فعلا نتيجتها هتبقى مفيدة. You have a reason to believe that it's beneficial. So if someone wants to start a project or even join a course, you know that the course is beneficial, that it will help the person develop, or that the project will be successful. So you can just say to the person that it's worth a try.
Well, even if it is, it's worth a try. Well, even if it is, it's worth a try.
Isn't it even worth a try? Isn't it even worth a try?
You see someone acting in a very wrong way in a certain situation. You want to change that. You want to give them a piece of advice about this. Yet, you don't want to embarrass the person because they're doing something wrong, or embarrass yourself because of his or her reaction, of course. انت عايز تنصح حد من غير ما تحرجه ومن غير ما تحرج نفسك بطريقة كده غير مباشرة وبأدب وبذوق. So, if you see a mom screaming at her children on the streets, you would very politely and from a distant place, because you don't want her to scream at you in the end, you'd say, if it were me, I wouldn't have done that. If it were me, I wouldn't have done that. لو أنا اللي مكانك كده ما كنتش زعقت بالطريقة دي بصراحة. So, if it were me, I wouldn't have done this or this or that. You're giving a distant piece of advice. You're not befriending the person. أنت مش بتصاحب بقى الشخص ولا حاجة. أنت بس يعني إيه بتديله نصيحة كده in an indirect way.
Were me, I'd bet everything. Were me, I'd bet everything.
Wow. If it were me, I would pick one of them. Wow. If it were me, I would pick one of them.
One of your friends is talking to you about a certain topic, perhaps buying a car. So he or she is saying, okay, there are several types of cars out there. I don't know which one is the best, which one to choose. You want to give a suggestive kind of advice, a suggestive piece of advice. كأنك بتقترح عليهم شيء. So you'd say, okay, have you thought of buying a Mitsubishi? Have you thought of buying something? Have you considered buying the Mitsubishi? So, have you thought of buying a Mitsubishi? Or have you considered buying a Mitsubishi? These are suggestive ways of giving a piece of advice in the form of a question.
Have you thought about coaching? Have you thought about coaching?
Have you thought about getting into photography? Have you thought about getting into photography?
There are many ways through which you can give a piece of advice. One of them is using proverbs and sayings. There are people who love to use proverbs, sayings and quotations when they are given a piece of advice to someone. It makes it more credible. في ناس بتحب تستخدم الأمثال والحكم كده وهي بتدي نصيحة. So if you're about to do this, you can say, a wise man once said, and you continue. A wise man once told me, and you continue. So for example, a wise man once said, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. A wise man once told me, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. Which means that you need to adapt to a certain situation. When you need to give a piece of advice to someone, to tell them something, using proverbs and quotations or even sayings, you can say that one.
Wrong. But a wise man once said that you should never believe wrong. But a wise man once said that you should never believe.
But a wise man once told me. But a wise man once told me.
Now the last one is a bit formal. You'd usually hear it in schools or at work when your boss or your teacher is talking to you. So they would say, I strongly recommend doing your homework this way. I strongly recommend that. The other one, your boss would say, I strongly recommend that your plans should be finished before the end of June. So I strongly recommend something بتبقى رسمية شوية في سياقات رسمية، يا إما بيبقى boss مثلا هو اللي بيوجهها للموظفين, or a teacher saying it to his students, and that's how it's used.
I strongly recommend caution. I strongly recommend caution.
Strongly recommend research trips into the
Well, that's everything for this time. I hope these expressions would be beneficial for you, and what I would like you to do this time is to use one of the expressions in a sentence and post it in the comments below. So that would be very helpful for everyone on the page, and that would actually provide more examples for the people watching. Thank you very much.